Hello. Today's topic is about post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD and the healing power of nutrition. This presentation is wholeheartedly dedicated to all our American heroes who suffer from PTSD and other mental health related conditions. Post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD is a mental health condition triggered by experiencing or witnessing traumatic events such as war, combat, abuse, natural disaster, or serious accidents. Symptoms may include flashbacks, nightmares, anxiety, and emotional numbness. It begins to disrupt your everyday life, including your sleep, relationships, memory, and ability to focus. Not a sign of weakness, but it's the brain's response to overwhelming stress. Healing is possible with support, therapy, and holistic care that includes nutrition. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental health condition that develops after exposure to traumatic events. While it's normal to feel shaken after a trauma, PTSD occurs when those feelings persist and intensify, interfering with daily life, and it also affects how your brain processes stress, memory, and emotional regulation, and how healing requires a compassionate and whole person approach. PTSD is called the invisible wound. It doesn't show up on an x-ray, but its impact is profound. Veterans, survivors of abuse, first responders, and many others carry the weight of trauma in ways that affect their sleep, focus, relationships, and sense of safety. PTSD isn't just about what happened. It's about how the brain continues to respond long after the danger has passed. The brain under PTSD is in a survival mode. It's hyper alert, flooded with stress hormones, and struggling to regulate emotions and memory. This is not weakness, it's biology. And just as we support the heart with nutrition, we can support the brain too. Emerging research in nutritional psychiatry shows that certain nutrients can help calm inflammation, stabilize mood, and rebuild resilience. In this presentation, we will explore how food can be part of the healing journey, not as a cure-all, but as a powerful ally. Because when we feed the brain with intention, when we honor both science and story, we create space for recovery, hope, and renewed strength. This is for every hero who's still fighting battles no one can see. PTSD isn't just a clinical term. It's something I have seen etched into the lives of our American heroes that I've served for decades. It shows up in sleepless nights, sudden triggers, strained relationships, and the quiet moments when someone feels completely alone. And while therapy and medications are the first lines of support, we rarely talked about how food, the most basic form of care, can help rebuild the brain, restore balance, and offer comfort. The numbers are heartbreaking. According to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, over 11 to 20% of Iraq and Afghanistan war veterans live with PTSD each year. The VA 2022 Annual Suicide Prevention Report indicates that suicide remains one of the leading causes of death among those who served. These are not just statistics. They are the sons, daughters, parents, and friends. And yet, nutrition is still overlooked in most mental health care plans. This presentation is my way of saying we can do better. We can nourish the brain, calm the nervous system, and offer veterans the tools that feel practical for them, respectful and hopeful. It's because healing isn't just about surviving. It's about reclaiming joy, connection, and the dignity of feeling whole again. In my recent videos about brain and neuronutrition, the gut-brain connection was thoroughly explained, so view those videos for more information. When we talk about healing the brain, we cannot ignore the gut. The gut and brain are in constant communication. This connection is so powerful that many scientists call the gut our second brain. It produces about 90% of the body's serotonin, a key mood-regulating chemical that houses the whole enteric nervous system, which helps regulate emotions. When trauma strikes or disrupts this connection, it can lead to more than just digestive issues. It can trigger anxiety, depression, and emotional dysfunction. Trauma doesn't just affect thoughts and memories, it changes the body. Chronic stress alters the microbial diversity of the gut bacteria. It increases inflammation and weakens the gut lining. This inflammation doesn't stay in the gut, it travels. Through the vagus nerve, signals from the gut reach the brain, influencing mood, anxiety, and even sleep. When the gut is inflamed, it can release cytokines, chemical messengers that worsens mental health symptoms and make healing harder. That means fewer nutrients are absorbed and fewer neurotransmitters are produced. For people, especially my veterans living with PTSD, this disruption can feel like a fog that won't go away no matter how hard they try. But here is the hope. By nourishing the gut, we support healing and improve brain health. With the right foods, we can restore balance, reduce inflammation, and support emotional resilience. This is not just a theory. It's a growing field called nutritional psychiatry, and it's offering new tools for recovery. For our American heroes, healing the gut isn't just about digestion. It's about reclaiming peace, clarity, and the strength to move forward. Let's talk about PTSD and gut microbiome. When we think about trauma, we usually focus on the mind. But the truth is, PTSD reaches far deeper. It affects the gut, where trillions of bacteria help regulate mood, immunity, and even pain perception. The gut microbiome is like a hidden ecosystem, and when trauma hits, it can throw that system out of balance. Stress reduces microbial diversity. Then it increases inflammation and weakens the gut lining. And when the gut suffers, so does the brain. This imbalance is called dysbiosis, which can worsen anxiety, depression, and emotional instability. It disrupts serotonin production and heightens the body's stress response. But here's the hopeful part: the gut can heal. Fermented foods like yogurt, kimchi, and kefir help repopulate beneficial bacteria. Prebiotic fibers from garlic and bananas feed those microbes, helping restore balance and reduce inflammation. For my American heroes living with PTSD, these foods aren't just nutritious, they are therapeutic. They offer a gentle, daily way to support emotional resilience and physical recovery. Healing the microbiome is a vital piece of the puzzle, and it's one we can start addressing at the kitchen table with compassion, intention, and care. As mentioned earlier, PTSD doesn't just live in the mind, it reshapes the entire body. When someone experiences trauma, the brain floods with stress hormones like cortisol, disrupting the delicate balance of serotonin and dopamine. These are the chemicals that help regulate mood, sleep, and emotional stability. Over time, this imbalance can impair memory, concentration, and the ability to feel safe or connected. But the effects don't stop there. Nutrients like omega-3s, tryptophan, and the B vitamins play a critical role in restoring this balance, helping the brain rebuild its chemistry and resilience. But the damage is not limited to brain chemistry. Chronic stress also triggers inflammation and oxidative stress, releasing cytokines that damage brain cells and weaken resilience. Again, cytokines are small proteins that act as messengers in the immune system. They help the cells communicate, especially during stress, infection, or injury, by triggering inflammation and healing responses or immune defense. When balanced, cytokines guide and protect the body. But when too much are released, they begin to harm than heal, causing inflammation, mood disorders, and even worsen PTSD symptoms, including anxiety. To combat that effect, the body needs anti-inflammatory foods like fatty fish, berries, and leafy greens help counteract this damage, offering the body a way to repair and protect itself from within. This is why PTSD requires more than just talk therapy. It calls for a whole body approach, one that nourishes the brain, calms the nervous system, and restores gut health. Nutrition isn't just a side note. It's a frontline tool for rebuilding from the inside out. And when we honor that connection, we offer our American heroes a deeper path to healing, one rooted in science, compassion, and hope. Nutrient-dense, gut-friendly food such as vegetables, bone broth, and high-fiber meals support digestion, restore gut integrity, and help rebuild the foundation for emotional and physical recovery. The gut-brain axis is a living conversation, one shaped by nutrients, hormones, and neurotransmitters. Nutritional psychiatry helps us understand how food choices influence not just digestion, but mood, memory, and emotional resilience. Vitamin D is a key player in this system. It acts like a hormone with receptors throughout the brain, especially in areas that regulate mood. When levels are low, we see disruptions in serotonin and dopamine, the two neurotransmitters that are essential for emotional stability and motivation. But the story doesn't stop there. Vitamin D also affects thyroid hormone function, which plays a major role in metabolism, energy, and mood. Both vitamin D and thyroid hormones bind to steroid hormone receptors. This means a deficiency in one can disrupt the other. This overlap is especially important for patients with PTSD or chronic stress, where hormonal imbalances usually go unnoticed but deeply affect recovery. By restoring vitamin D levels through sunlight, food, and supplementation, we support not just the brain, but the entire hormonal ecosystem. We help regulate neurotransmitters like GABA and acetylcholine, which influence calm, focus, and emotional processing. This is where nutrition becomes more than fuel. It becomes a form of therapy, a way to rebuild resilience from the inside out. Vitamin D might seem simple, but its impact on mental health is profound. It helps maintain the brain's structural integrity, supporting the scaffoldings that keeps neurons connected and functioning. It also plays a key role in regulating dopamine, a neurotransmitter that influences motivation, mood, and emotional resilience. When levels are low, the brain struggles to stay balanced, and that imbalance can quietly fuel depression, anxiety, and cognitive fog. For many of my veterans, vitamin D deficiency is common. Limited sunlight exposure, chronic stress, and certain medications can all contribute to such deficiency. And when symptoms like fatigue, low mood, and poor concentration often overlap with PTSD, the deficiency can go unnoticed. By correcting it through safe sun exposure, foods like fatty fish, and egg yolks or vitamin D supplements can make a meaningful difference. This isn't about quick fixes. It's about restoring what the body needs to heal. Vitamin D is one of the most accessible tools that we have to support mental wellness, and it deserves a place in every American veteran's recovery plan. Because sometimes the missing piece is something as simple and powerful like the sunlight. Let's talk again about brain superfoods for healing. Food can be medicine. I've always believed that food is more than fuel. It's a form of care. For my American veterans living with PTSD, anxiety, or emotional fatigue, the right food can help restore balance, focus, and even hope. Omega 3s from salmon and walnuts, for example, help rebuild brain cells and reduce inflammation. That support clear thinking and emotional stability. Leafy greens like spinach and kale provide folate, which help your brain make the neurotransmitters that regulate mood. Berries are another quiet powerhouse. Their deep colors come from anthocyanins. These are compounds that protect neurons and enhance memory. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower contain sulforaphane. This calms neuroinflammation and helps the brain recover from stress. And extra virgin oil? It's not just heart healthy. It supports blood flow to the brain and helps cells communicate more effectively. These are not exotic ingredients. They are everyday foods with extraordinary benefits. Including them in daily meals is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about giving my veterans the simple and nourishing tools to feel more grounded, resilient, and emotionally supported. Because healing the brain starts with what we put on the plate, and every bite is a chance to move forward. Planning your daily meals doesn't have to be complicated. For my veterans navigating PTSD, anxiety, or depression, even small shifts in daily meals can make a meaningful difference. Balanced meals, those with high fiber, protein, and healthy fats, help stabilize your blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and support neurotransmitter production. That means fewer mood swings, better focus, and calmer nervous system. You do not need gourmet ingredients or hours in the kitchen. Salmon offers brain-boosting omega-3 fatty acids. Even frozen berries are packed with antioxidants that protect memory. A bowl of oatmeal provides fiber to feed gut bacteria and regulates digestion. These simple foods are affordable, accessible, and powerful. And when paired with leafy greens, fermented foods, and whole grains, they create a foundation for emotional resilience. I have created meal plans and grocery lists with veterans in mind, especially those with limited time, appetite, or budget. Because healing starts with consistency, not perfection. And every meal is a chance to nourish not just the body, but the mind and spirit. I'm here to support you and walk with you, offering you guidance that's supported by science and delivered with care. To my American heroes and to those who are living with PTSD, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not alone. The path to healing may feel long, but it is possible with the right support, the right tools, and the right people walking beside you. Nutrition won't solve everything, but it can be a powerful part of your recovery. When combined with therapy, community, and compassionate care, it helps calm the nervous system, restore balance, and rebuild resilience. I've seen this firsthand in my clinic, in people close to me, and in the quiet courage of veterans who show up every day, trying to feel whole again. Healing isn't linear, and it isn't perfect, but it's real, and it begins with small steps, like choosing foods that nourish the brain, reaching out for support, or simply believing that change is possible. This presentation is my way of walking with you, not as an expert behind a desk, but as someone who's lived this journey, who believes in your strength, and who wants you to feel safe, supported, and seen. You deserve that. Every veteran does. If this video spoke to you, please share it. You never know who might be silently struggling, who might need a voice of comfort, a dose of clarity, or a reminder that healing is possible. One share could be the lifeline someone didn't know they needed. Peer support and education don't just inform, they save lives. I invite you to subscribe to this channel for more content on nutrition, mental health, and healing. Each video is crafted with care, backed by science, and rooted in lived experience. Whether you are my veteran, or a caregiver, or someone seeking answers, this space is here for you, offering tools, encouragement, and connection. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, please reach out. Connection is one of the strongest protective factors against suicide. You are not alone. There is help, there is hope, and there is a community ready to walk beside you. Healing starts with a single step, and you have already started the journey by watching this video. Healing doesn't end when the appointment ends. For many veterans and their families, the real work of recovery happens at home, in quiet moments, in shared meals, and in search for answers that feel both practical and compassionate. That's why I have created free resources such as nutrition guides and videos to support continued learning and healing outside the clinic. These tools are grounded in science, but delivered with a big heart. Whether you are a caregiver trying to ease the burden, a spouse navigating emotional changes, or a veteran seeking clarity, these resources are designed to meet you where you are. Visual education through YouTube helps make complex topics easier to understand and remember. And evidence-based nutrition guides offer step-by-step support for building meals that nourish both the body and the mind. My hope is that these tools feel like a lifeline, not just information, but encouragement. Because everyone deserves care that extends beyond the diagnosis, and every family deserves to feel empowered, supported, and part of the healing journey. Thank you so much for watching.